I mean, it took everybody pulling in to make it happen. We're just super thankful that it was so well received and we were able to tour multiple times to support it. It was kind of crazy how, well it took off. So thank you for all the support and, everybody who supported it. It means a lot.
Ghost Cult Magazine welcomes in Chad from Mortuous. How are you doing tonight, man?
Good. How are you doing?
I am very well for this late Thursday in the beginning of February. A happy New Year. I hope you and the band are well. It's been a working musician, a person trying to make it in the music business. It has never been tougher. So just first and foremost, I hope everybody's good. I hope you're holding up good. I hope you guys have had a very good start to the year and are looking forward to a lot of fun things.
Yeah, I mean, things are going great. We're just getting ready to hit 2023 off, with a bang, I guess. Got a lot of stuff in the works right now, trying to figure out some tours, get some stuff lined up for some festival appearances. So, yeah, it's going great so far.
I have been personally very encouraged by the amount of, as we've been very well acknowledged how hard it is right now about touring, just the result, the aftermath or continuation of the pandemic, the high cost of traveling, touring, everything. But I've been encouraged to see a lot of festivals, not just the big ones, the corporate ones, but like I'm seeing a lot of underground festivals, specifically like death metal and doom metal popping up all over the States. And that really encourages me personally. Like, it's going to be okay.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of great festival. I mean, the bigger ones like Maryland Death Fest, like that just got announced again. I mean, you have Hell's Heroes, you have Nuclear War Now. I mean, there's tons of great festivals popping up all over. I mean, Necrot's doing Northwest Terror Fest, getting put on the spot. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's great, like, to see that the festivals are not just in Europe or like other countries. There's a bunch like concentrated here too, and they're all like kind of getting like a lot of underground bands like our bands and stuff. So it's rad.
I am super stoked for the mention of Necrot, also a huge Necrot fan,
Cool.
and
Thank
very
you.
excited about them to have another record out soon. Very, very exciting stuff. And Northwest Terror Fest is always badass. There's a lot. May has a weird preponderance of festivals, like 10 or 15 festivals are happening in the month of April and May. I don't know why. It's a
Yeah,
good
I
time.
mean, it's summer, everybody's finally out of school, like, people are getting done with like the work, year sort of like, I mean, I don't know if like necessarily with work, but I know a lot of people take time off in May, June, for vacations and stuff like that, just because August and September comes very fast. And it's better to take the time off earlier when the summer hits than later, I feel like.
Fair enough. And then chances are probably because the summer festivals in Europe are so big and draw so many bands from the biggest names to the underground that it's
True.
for the States, it's better to have those festivals on either side of the summer because it's literally like 10 weeks of festivals.
Oh
In
yeah, for sure.
and we're partially based in Europe. Even though I'm here, we started in Europe. So we started in Europe to cover festivals. And so just funny how that, we're just always attuned to the festival stuff. Yeah, man. Upon Desolation came out last year and it's just badass. I got to see the band live, which was amazing and really fun. And I remember being at that show and a lot of people were, it was local here in the Bay Area. I love the live and outside stuff at the Metro. I only moved here in the last few years, so I didn't ever get to go to the Metro inside. So all my shows have been in these parking lot shows, but I really dig the vibe, man. I really dig the vibe. And I got to shout out, it was pretty hot that day. I seem to remember, like brutally hot. And I remember seeing Matt Harvey show up in flip-flops. I was like, dude, this is a metal show. Why are you wearing flip-flops? He's like, bro, it's hot. Look how hot it is. I'm wearing flip-flops. I was like, all right, man.
Yeah,
I hope nobody stomps on you by accident.
right. I mean, there was a bunch of pits going that whole day. I think like the whole deal with that show, like it was just, when we all checked the weather, it was like, oh, it's only going to be like, top like 80, not, late 70, it's not going to be like a crazy hot show. But then when you showed up, it's like the sun is just blaring down on the asphalt, and like you're just trying to like hide in one of those tents with like a beer, or just like with, you know, with like a fan or a hat or something. Like it was insanely hot that day. So like I'm right there with you.
That
It was,
that
it was
yeah,
kind of crazy.
that was me hiding from there was no clouds. So it was me hiding under the tent with a beer next to
Yeah.
a fan. My preferred spot at those shows is actually in the tent by the soundboard, because actually
Oh,
there's
for sure.
a little bit of cover. And but yeah, I mean, it was a great day,
Hmm.
and all the bands were killer, and you could not ask for a better Sunday out in the Bay. We've been very lucky to get so many good shows, and already there's like a whole ton of good shows just locally passing through in the next few months also. So I'm very stoked for that. And I haven't really gotten down. I know San Jose has the Ritz, and probably some other smaller hardcore venues and things like that, but I haven't had a chance to kind of get down there yet.
Yeah, I mean, San Jose has a couple of like, you know, solid venues. Like the Ritz is definitely a great place to play. Played there a bunch of times over the last couple of years. There's the Caravan, which is like a staple for like a lot of underground shows, for, you know, decades now. There's another spot that was having shows, called Level Uproar. It was like it's like a brewery, but they also, it's like kind of like they have an arcade, and like bands play there. It's a cool spot. So I mean, like San Jose, while the like venues are limited, there's still places to play, and like people do come out to shows, and it's a good scene.
Word. I need like a weekend where there's a show and a Sharks game, and I can hit the double double, you
Right?
know. But not double double animal style, but the double double of weekend. And I'm in San Fran, so I can hit it. It's not impossible.
No, I mean, you know, you can also do double double animal style. There's an In and Out in San Jose.
Word. I know people shit on In and Out, and it's getting all over the country now. Being kind of an East Coast person, so I had like Five Guys before anybody, and we had, obviously I grew up with like White Castle as a
Mhm.
thing, not just a tour thing, but like a hometown thing.
Yeah.
There was one in my neighborhood growing up, as you can tell, and and the burgers were like 11 cents a burger when I was a little kid.
Holy,
So
wow,
like,
that's
and they were
insane.
always more inexpensive than anybody else, right? Cheaper than
Hmm.
McDonald's or whatever. So yeah, but I'm an In-N-Out fan. I think the fries are a little mid, but I love the burgers, man. I was like, yo, I will do this. That's yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, people love In and Out. They're great. I mean, Five Guys is great too. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's kind of like what you're up for in the moment, you know. Like it's gonna be good if you're into that sort of thing. So,
Welcome to our new show, Keefy and Chad review
right.
burgers.
Hey, I mean, it's not like it hasn't been done already. We could probably get a sponsorship.
Dude, we've got a couple of affiliates, and you never know. We already got Liquid Death, so a food thing is bound to happen.
It has to. I mean, you got the drinks, now you need the food.
We
It's just a
definitely
natural cycle.
We definitely do, man. So, yeah, man, I do want to talk about this record as much fun as I'm having with you. It's such a killer album. And, I know there's so many, it just seems like I do a podcast with my senior editor who runs our reviews team. And we were talking about like, it seems like 1 year on, there's always good death metal, but it does seem like 1 year on and 1 year off, probably just releases. But like last year was strong, and this year also seems very strong with like a lot of very great underground records. But man, your record stood out a lot. I said offline we had done a top 50 death metal albums of the year. Your album is on the list, and no doubt it definitely in this area is full of great death metal bands. So it's really cool. You guys separated yourself out from a very crowded pack, just regionally, this area that's so legendary for the genre. So I applaud you guys.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, we worked really hard on the album. I mean, it took everybody pulling in to make it happen. We're just super thankful that it was so well received, and we were able to tour multiple times to support it. It was kind of crazy how, well it took off. So thank you for all the support, and, everybody who supported it. It means a lot.
I want to shout out the artist. I don't want to butcher his name, but I actually met him. It's Merald from, I met him at Roadburn, and he's a world-renowned artist. I'll link him in the description where people can find his work. He has done countless records in the metal genre, across different metal subgenres. But yeah, that artwork is also so sick.
Yeah, I mean it turned out amazing. He's explained it, in interviews and like in posts that he's made, it just, what the process was making the cover. But I mean ultimately, like through all the, changes and like going back and forth, I feel like it's one of the best covers he's ever done.
And it's definitely atypical for the genre. There's a lot of great gory album covers, right? But it's cool when you get something that's a little bit out of the box and a little bit like it's a little Lovecrafty, it's a little bit sci-fi, a little, not too much, but just a tiny bit, like it's out there. It could be Dune. I love the colors. It's like just definitely killer.
Yeah, and I mean, it's very interpretive too. It's not, like it leaves some questions too when you look at it. It's not just like so cut and dry. Like it makes you kind of think about like what is actually going on. And like you said, there's so many different, aspects coming into it. So it's like it could be all those things, or it could, be totally like different from that too. It just it leaves it up to the viewer's interpretation. That's what I like about it as well.
Word. Let's jump into, I wanted to do like a brief rundown of the album, and again, just however you feel about the songs or anything in particular you want to talk about, the parts you laid down on the drums on those parts. And I thought it would be fun, and even though the album's been out a little while, I think it'll be cool to like now that it's been out a while, you lived with it, you played some of these songs live. I think maybe you'll add some extra perspective from the recording time. So the album kicks off with Carve, which is easily one of the best album openers of last year.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Carve was, I mean, like this song is just the way that it came about. It was just very like, I guess it was just like, we all had these songs, right? And in the track listing, and this song was like the one that everybody was like, this is gonna be the album opener. It was like meant to be. And it starts off like really like intense, just like this massive sound of, guitars and drums and bass, and then just like drops into this like kind of cavernous like double kick slower chugging riff. Just kind of like gets you in that feeling like, oh shit, like we're literally about to like enter this album right now. We're about to become Upon Desolation, right? um I mean, it just has so many good parts going from, the beginning to the middle to the end. I feel like it just it comes together so like cohesively. Um, and there's not really a dull moment on there, and that's what I feel like makes a great album opener. It just grabs your attention from the very beginning and holds it to the very end.
Well said. I agree. The second track is Nothing.
Nothing is another insane song with just like riff after riff after riff. It just like I don't think any riffs repeat. I mean, if I'm correct, I don't think any riffs repeat. But it's like such a unique song to where um I feel like, with all those riffs, it doesn't make it boring. Like I don't know, like some people, like we've heard in like reviews, like some people weren't happy that like we didn't go back and like repeat stuff, but it's like sometimes like it's not necessary. Like it's just a good continuation towards a song that like you're crafting. Like if you've got all these riffs and they work, like why not just fucking crush it, right? And this song is the first song on the album that features Andrea Morgan on violin, and her parts on the album are amazing. People pick this one out specifically too, just because of how haunting the parts are that they came up with, and it's just like it creates such an energy and an atmosphere, and like really like brings that sort of doomy feeling to the song. And it's definitely one of the favorites to play live, and I feel like a lot of the crowd feels that way too.
Word. Definitely early Faceless vibes with the atmosphere.
Mm.
The third track is Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis is damn, that is a very classic death metal song. Like it's another song we play live, and we play it early on purpose just because it's like it really like it kind of like gets that atmosphere going of like this is a really heavy song and we want to like get people pumped on it. And I feel like it's a very like um it definitely gets people going. Like if you like watch footage of us live or something, or like just like even the riffs in the song, if you notice, it's just like they're very like up tempo, and it just it's like it makes you just want to like beat stuff up, right? But yeah, that's another just classic. I feel like it's like such a classic death metal song, and another standout track on the album.
Indeed, indeed. Days of Grey is the next song.
Days of Grey was actually one of the last songs that was written for the album. I don't know if I've mentioned this already on the interview, but Mike, the guitarist, he was, he's been pretty much crafting songs for Upon Desolation since Through Wilderness came out. So he's just been churning out riffs for I want to say like the past 4 years, probably five now since it's 2023. But this is one of the last songs that he showed us, and we were just all like, "Yeah, this song is great." And I really like the energy with this song, just because it starts off so like fast and like heavy, and it's just like it's kind of a whirlwind of just intensity, and you don't really get a break until that one break part near the end before it goes into the really doomy ending of the song. It's just kind of like a not like a nonstop attack to the listener, to the viewer.
Word. A track that I like a great deal is Defiled by Fire. I wanted to make sure I got that right.
Yep. Defiled by Fire. That was one of the harder songs to learn, actually, just because it's kind of like when it first starts out, it's very intricate. There's a lot of like different patterns and a lot of different tempos that are getting thrown at you all at once, and then it finally like it smooths out. It's like you're entering the storm, and then you finally broken through the turbulence, and then you're like riding the wave, sort of, if that makes sense, through the rest of the song. And it's also just another like really powerful song. Andrea is also featured again with violin tracks at the very end. Even though it's at the very end, it still creates this atmosphere like we're now on side B and the ride is not done yet. Like you're still, about to get pummeled by doom.
Beautifully said. Burning Still is the next track.
Whew. Oh man, just hearing those two words already, I'm just like I'm out of breath. Uh, that's one of the hard. That was like the hardest song to learn, I think, on this record. Just the speed of the song is just it's you don't get a break. It's meant to attack the listener on all fronts, never giving them a chance to like get a breath. I just really like how evil it sounds. It literally sounds like you're being dragged to hell once those violins end. It's just like you're being grabbed down into like this just fiery cave.
Word. Ash and Dismay is the next to last track.
I feel like Ash and Dismay is it's probably my favorite song in the album. It's another song it's just tons of riffs, nothing really repeats. It's just like back to back, just intensity. And it's a really song to play, sorry, it's a really fun song to play all together. We haven't played it live yet. I think we're hoping to incorporate it in the set this year, but it's easily one of my favorite tracks on the album besides Nothing and the next track that we're probably gonna talk about now, Graveyard Rain.
A very gothy title, Graveyard Rain.
Yes. This was also another one of the last songs that was written for the album. It's a very like strong song throughout, and I feel like it really like nails the coffin shut to close this album out. It's just so like incredibly like concise and cohesive throughout, and then at the very end it just like seals your fate with that like incredible like doom riff. Yeah, there's just not, it like words can't even describe how much I like the song. It's even it's just hard for me to like talk about it. I love it.
Awesome. That was great. Thank you so much for that. And I know you've had a bit of a busy day, so I'm going to give you back your evening in a second. But I did want to just ask. Obviously, I said you're not ready to reveal dates or festivals yet. But do you have anything locally coming up or anything? Obviously, the other bands are also heating up, so I know you're a busy guy.
Yeah, I mean with Mortuous, we're just trying to get some stuff in the works right now. Like the next thing we have confirmed is a festival appearance in Copenhagen in Denmark, Unearthed Morbidity, which is the festival that was set up by David from Extremely Rotten, who released Upon Desolation in Europe. And it was, an honor to get to be asked to play the festival just because it's like we're all friends with David and we're incredibly, happy with how he released the album and the rollout that he did for it. It's just really helpful to get a partner in Europe that is able to distribute the record just because it's so hard right now to purchase anything internationally. So it's like if you have a label in the States, you're mostly covering one area, like North America. And if you have that other connection, it helps spread the word. And so it's like we're just really thankful that David, has been a part of the release and then invited us to play his festival. It's just like the friendship goes back even longer than this album, almost 15 years ago now. So yeah, we're really looking forward to it. Other than that, everything is kind of like in the works. I can't divulge it yet, but it's ramping up to be a good year.
I'm so happy for you, man. That sounds great, and just all the best and all the continued success and everything. I'm sure I'll see you around the way at
Right.
another show or one of your shows, and we'll fist bump it out. But yeah, I just really appreciate you guys, and one of my favorite bands in the scene here, and has just made it. When you hear music that feels like home, heavy, disgusting, great death metal, it really hits you hard. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. Thanks for your time. Thanks for hanging with Ghost Cult, and I'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you again for having me today. It's awesome. Had a great time.